Welcome back to the Cultivating Gratitude journey. We're on day 20, and today is all about self-care and appreciating your self-care. Now, we all have a self-care routine, whether we acknowledge it or not. Could be more ingrained habits on how we take care of ourselves, not just physically, but mentally, financially. I'm going to go through different dimensions of self-care, and then we'll do an expansion grid exercise on how to expand on our self-care and showing gratitude for ourselves. Now, self-care refers to our deliberate actions that we take to preserve, improve, and maintain our health, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and beyond. It involves prioritizing and our activities and nurturing those that support our health and well-being. If a self-care routine or any kind of action is not beneficial to us, we usually stop doing it, or it's one of those things to be kind of pushed over and rebuilt into a new habit that would actually benefit us. Now, self-care isn't just about treating yourself and indulging, especially if you like chocolate, bubble baths, those kind of thing. That is an aspect of self-care. But self-care is everything that we consistently practice to prioritize our health. It also involves recognizing your needs, taking the steps to fulfill them, helping you feel more resilient, basically, and better to tackle life's challenges. And remember that your self-care routine will change over time. You don't have to stick to the same habits and rituals you have now. Once we grow and learn new aspects of health, both physically and mentally, we can start incorporating new practices and new ways to take care of ourselves in our daily routine. And it's all about finding what works for you, what makes you happy, and what makes you healthy. Because what makes me happy and healthy is going to be different from you. It'll be different from your family, your kids, your friends, and society as a whole. We're all individuals, and we all have our certain needs and ways we really like to take care of ourselves. So I'm going to go over 6 different aspects of self-care real quick, and then a few different ways that we can show self-care gratitude in those categories, and then we'll go over my expansion grid. So first of all, obviously physical self-care is number 1. Physical self-care involves supporting our physical health, such as exercise, getting enough sleep, maintaining a balanced diet, nutritional balance, depending on what you like to eat, just trying to incorporate the different food groups, that kind of thing. Staying hydrated is key. I know I forget to drink water personally. And then, attending your doctor's appointments or, just maintaining certain health protocols you have to keep your body in shape throughout your entire lifespan. We also have emotional self-care. Emotional self-care focuses more on the emotional side of our well-being. This could be like therapy, journaling at home, practicing mindfulness, meditation for your emotions, expressing your emotions, getting them up and out of your body in a healthy, constructive way, and then also setting those healthy boundaries in relationships kind of helps maintain emotional self-care. There's also mental self-care. Now we want to improve and support our cognitive function, our mental clarity. This can include your hobbies, certain hobbies that are more mentally stimulating, maybe like puzzles, games, chess, those kind of things. Even reading, problem solving, any type of activity that makes you think spatially, analytically, everything. Anything that you seek that is intellectual, watching podcasts, listening to podcasts, watching TED Talks, those kind of things. Anything that can expand your mental capacity. Then also practicing stress management will help our mental function. If you're a little too stressed out and overwhelmed, it's kind of hard to think. So Anything that you can think of that helps you calm down and reduce your stress, that would be included with your mental self-care. There's also social self-care. Now, I know we are human beings, we're social creatures. Even if you're mostly introverted and you have like a 99% solo time to 1% people time kind of ratio, you still need to cultivate some gratitude and go out in the world and cultivate that little bit of social care to get your social battery back up. Social self-care is about maintaining those healthy relationships. If a relationship is not very healthy to you, whether physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, it may not be the best relationship for you. But that's something to reflect on. Spending quality time with your loved ones, friends even, anyone, your pets, that'll count as social self-care. But if you don't have supportive relationships right now, seeking them out may be one of your ways that you can show gratitude to yourself. Finding those supportive relationships and setting those healthy boundaries in the relationships that you currently have. We also have spiritual self-care. These involve activities that nourish your inner soul, your inner self, and gives you a sense of purpose in life. These can be your physical goals, but also, what about your spiritual goals? Do you believe in a higher power? Do you believe in meditation and yoga? Do you have your own kind of spirituality sense? You just talk to the universe, talk to yourself. What about nature? Everything regarding nature is spiritual. Do you have any kind of nature rituals or routines that you have that connects you to the outside world, planet Earth? And just simply practicing gratitude is an act of spiritual self-care. You're cultivating all that energy that gives you like energy in return. So again, with gratitude, we just ask the universe for what we want more of, and we expect the good things to be returned to us in fold. And the last category is financial self-care. This is all about how you manage your finances. We want to promote stability within our own lives, have financial security, and develop our healthy relationships with money. Now, you may not have a currently healthy relationship with money. I admit that I am an emotional overspender, so I am working on my debts and rebuilding new habits, but I am consciously aware that when I'm a little too emotional, I can bring out the credit card a little bit too much, just to make myself feel better. So finding other ways to soothe yourself instead of shopping, maybe one of your self-care routines like me. But when we're looking at the 6 different aspects of self-care, I just want to share some tips and ways that you can show appreciation for those different aspects. First of all, just expressing gratitude for our body, mind, and soul, and our heart, physically and energetically. Especially if you're an empathetic, compassionate, kind person, your heart can be pretty large energetically. So how do you maintain yourself and that compassion and express gratitude for the ways you can also say no? We also want to acknowledge just our efforts. Recognize and appreciate the effort you put into taking care of yourself, no matter how it is or what it is. Celebrate those small wins, the small achievements, and even major milestones on your self-care journey. Especially if you really haven't taken care of yourself in the past and you're doing something way different now, you can acknowledge that change you've had. And give yourself props for taking care of yourself now, and because now is all that matters, really. And you can just reflect on the actual progress, the change. Kind of see how far you've come. What's new now? What's different? Take note of all the positive changes that you have in your well-being, whether that's physically exercising, doing more puzzles, reading more books to expand your mental capacity, meditating more, getting a sense of connection with the universe, taking care of your finances, taking care of people, those kind of things. Just reflect on how you've changed. Now, we also want to celebrate our self-care rituals. Acknowledge the value that you have in your routines. Do you have a daily meditation practice? Do you have a daily skincare routine? Acknowledge that you consider yourself valuable enough to take care of yourself. Even an exercise routine. I know I value comfort way too much, and if I'm going to break a habit, exercise is usually the first one to go. I usually like walking around the park in the neighborhood, but when there's even just a little bit of rain or snow, I'm just like, I'll stay inside. So that's a bad habit I acknowledge, and it's something I know I want to work on. But even from where I am now to where I was before, I am a lot better at keeping myself motivated and disciplined when it comes to exercise. But ultimately, we want to value our me time. Be grateful for the time you dedicate to yourself. And understand that you are a priority in your life. Just valuing yourself and the ways that you take care of yourself is a way to show gratitude and be grateful for. Also, we want to appreciate your choices because choices change. How are you making choices now versus 10 years ago? And then how can your choices change for the future? How can you better your health physically, mentally, emotionally? And you can change your nutrition, relationships, develop those boundaries, and decide how you want to change. And then we can also celebrate our self-discovery because of those choices and those changes and how everything evolves over time. Embrace that you've changed. Embrace that you're discovering more about yourself. And what you want now is going to be different from then and different than the future. And the last tip and way that I can share on how to show gratitude and appreciation for yourself is to start practicing positive affirmations. Remind yourself why you care about yourself so much and how awesome you are. Some of my best affirmations and ones that I would recommend are simply, I am enough. Your brain cannot argue with that, especially if you are used to giving yourself a hard time and have some negative self-talk. Just reminding yourself that you are enough and you've always been enough and always will be enough. That's kind of helped me think better about me, and I hope it's an affirmation that you would find positive results in your life as well. You can also just say something like, I'm wealthy, I'm abundant. Remind yourself that abundance is possible, wealth is possible. You may have to put in a little work, yes, or have a little bit of luck, but every energy is available in the universe, and sometimes we just have to reach out and grab it and acknowledge that we can have it. Even saying I live in abundance, you really can't argue with that because the universe is abundant, everything is available. And again, it's just about how your choices will reflect you having that abundance in this moment. And then just, focusing on your body. Like, my body is designed to heal itself. My body does heal itself. Those kind of healthcare kind of affirmations. So finding a positive affirmation that works for you may be part of your self-care routine. But let me get my expansion grid here. Grab your pen and paper, your digital media, your markers, whatever you'd like, and let's start cultivating some gratitude for our self-care. Okay, so I have my expansion grid here. I've already put my affirmation in the middle. You can do yours how you'd like. You were just putting self-care and then expanding on everything that you do self-care. But I chose an affirmation, and that is, I am grateful for how I take care of myself. And if you want to do separate grids for physical health and self-care versus mental, emotional, social, spiritual, and financial, you can. But for time's sake and just giving a brief example, I'm going to combine them all onto one grid right now. So, how am I grateful for taking care of myself? Starting with physical stuff, I am grateful for when I do exercise. My exercise routine, I do like walking. I try to walk for a good 45 minutes to an hour a day. And weather permitting, obviously, but if not, I will try to compensate and do an exercise bike. I have one of those inside. Again, if I just have better habits, I would use it daily, but when I do, I'm proud of myself for actually getting on the bike, getting out on the walk. So that's my self-care routine. Basically, we can go over like diet and exercise as well. So diet, I am trying more fruits and vegetables. We'll just say a balanced diet. Staying hydrated. I forget to drink water a lot of times, but I have a reminder and I'm always having some sort of water glass around me at all times. So building those habits. I am proud of myself for staying hydrated. Getting enough sleep. Depending on the time of month or if I'm sick, it'll vary, but I know that my sleep and my body sometimes needs at least 8 to 10 hours, depending on the situation, and I will prioritize sleep over other things if needed. So that's me. If that's one of your self-care routines, mention that your sleep schedule varies. But having, like, we'll go over to mental and emotional, like journaling. Daily journaling, getting my emotions out. Getting my emotions out of me. Keeping energetically, getting those energetic blocks away as fast as possible, if I can talk. But going back to physical stuff, hygiene. My hygiene practices. I love my hot showers. We can do face scrubs and face masks, those kind of things. Those are kind of indulgences, but also one part of my general self-care routine. So I appreciate myself, giving myself a facial sometimes with, depending on the mask. I stocked up at those Christmas after sales of stocking stuffer type of masks, and I got them for like 50 cents, so I'm set for quite a few months on my self-care routine and my face skincare routine. We can also just talk about general relaxing. I like my alone time. For emotional and mental support, I will include video gaming, because that is just me. It's how I decompress. That's how I relax. That's my stress relief. We can go with I do stretch breaks, those kind of things. It's also physical, but just knowing that I need to take breaks from technology, not just for my physical health care and support, but mental, emotional, reducing those screen time. So when I get sucked into like Facebook and TikTok videos, I will have to consciously tell myself to stop it, but usually after I start feeling a little weird, to be like, okay, why is my brain going a mile a minute? Those kind of things. But even in those moments, acknowledging that you need a break and taking care of yourself, I am grateful that I acknowledge what I need in the moment and follow through. Also with emotional self-care and my mental self-care, showing compassion for myself. The positive self-talk. That's why I like affirmations. They've changed the way that I talk to myself. I used to have bad habits of calling myself a loser and a failure and lazy, because those were like my family's words and other people's words. And even though I graduated valedictorian, I did have some maybe ADD issues as a child, so I would space out during class. Teachers would call me out, but I still got the work done, obviously, and still made it through high school. But all those words kind of stick with you. So as an adult, I've had to change how I talk to myself. And again, sharing that I am enough, that's been my favorite positive affirmation, to remind myself that no matter what is happening, whether it's a personal goal, professional goal, projects, those kind of things, anything, getting over my perfectionist tendencies, just reminding myself that I'm enough usually covers a lot of those different aspects, health-wise, mentally, emotional, even spiritual. That's helped change my reality, and I'm proud of myself for taking care of myself in that way. I've never really gone to therapy, so the journaling, those kind of things by myself, that's how I take care of myself. And allowing yourself to express emotions. Just going to make that note there that is something I'm proud of. Also, let's see, we'll jump around. The mental stuff. I like puzzles. I mean, the video games sure help, but physical puzzles, like adult activity kind of books, we'll say activity books. Those kind of things keeps me mentally sharp. I also like neurobics. Once I discovered those, I know I mentioned that when we first went over the course on how to kind of incorporate both your left and right brain. Again, I've been working on my ambidextrous kind of abilities. Writing more with my left hand, still looks like a child, versus the 30 years experience I've had with my right hand. So incorporating more neurobics into my life, improve my mental function, I feel. Science goes back and forth on that, and if it's really beneficial, but a little bit helps, I think, and at least it's changed my brain for the better. So if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, that's okay. Other thing is setting realistic goals for myself. I am a dreamer, and a lot of times I will bite off more than I can chew, but breaking those goals down into small chunks and manageable chunks, that is what works for me. That improves my mental health for sure, because I don't get as overwhelmed as I used to be. So just acknowledging what works for you and making those small changes if needed will kind of improve your self-care function overall. So if you want to break down your goals into more manageable chunks, give it a try and see if it changes how you see yourself. Even just, again, limiting that screen time, that'll help with mental self-care. Physical activity for mental health. When I know I'm a little bit too, wired up, so to speak, I'll do some cardio. Cardio helps physically and my emotional mental function. So taking care of myself with cardio does work in certain areas, even though cardio is not my all-time favorite. Going to some more social, having dinner with family once a week. By family, I mean like my mom and my older brother. We're in our 30s and beyond, so it's not like a family dinner like we would back in the day. But we try to get together at least once a week. Albeit everyone's schedule sometimes doesn't work, but at least, once every other week, once a month. Those kind of things to maintain my social battery and communication with my family. Currently don't have any friends. That's not... I have friends, but not like in my area. Ever since I moved and got away from my previous relationship, really haven't made any new friends to like go out and have meals with and stuff. But I used to go, shopping with the girls, going out to dinner, those kind of things. So even with shopping, dinner with friends, I would still put that on my list of like social self-care. I'll get back into that eventually. But right now I'm kind of in my solo healing phase, and that is perfectly okay. Which I can even put here. We'll put solo healing phase. That's how I'm taking care of myself right now. Mentally, emotionally, physically, socially, financially. Getting out of a narcissistic relationship. Just taking care of all of those aspects right now is my priority. And I appreciate myself for doing that. Now, we all go through phases in life, and, if you need your alone time, take it. People will be there. The whole world is full of people, and the good people will be there when you're ready to, go out and expand your social circle and your social health. So, No judgment, just do you and make sure you take care of you in every moment. And speaking of financial, budgeting myself right now, financial budget, money budget. Again, taking care of my over shopping habit, just being more mindful, do mindful spending. But yeah, mindful spending habits would be part of my self-care, paying off my debts. That is how I'm taking care of myself right now. Financially, so that's like one of my goals, setting my financial goal to take care of myself first. That is an aspect of self-care. Besides the mindful spending and self-care and spending, I do spend money on myself. I am grateful for the ability to buy Starbucks when I need to. Just kind of expand on everything. That's an investment. I haven't had it in a while, but when I can, that's how I treat myself. I'm a coffee person, so that's included in my self-care routine. And then like spiritual self-care, just again with the journaling, we can expand. I do meditate a little bit. A lot more when I do the light language. So my light language is my connection to source, so taking care of myself and maintaining my spiritual connection is part of my self-care routine. Spiritual connection routine. It's not just meditation. I'll try to expand on that when I talk more about my light language. But yeah, just having a routine that I can come back to and center myself and get connected with the source and universe again. That would be included in my spiritual self-care. Even just practicing gratitude. That is spiritual self-care. Showing appreciation, kindness at the store, self-compassion, and compassion for others. All those are included in my spiritual self-care. And then we can talk about values. I'll leave that here at the end. So everything, all my values, part of my self-care. That's, valuing me, valuing my time, valuing abundance in general, valuing my health and good health, valuing my financial security, my financial abundance, my ability to make money, my ability to spend money. I value the give and the receive. So that's kind of like how you want to just start expanding on your self-care practices. What is everything to you? And again, you want to do all your indulgences too. Spa nights, the bubble baths sometimes, the kind of the more expensive face masks, and even like doing like foot masks, pedicures, manicures, those kind of things, going to the chiropractor, if that's one of your things. Even if it's like a physical thing you do, add it to your list. Like, how do you take care of your body? How do you take care of your mind? How do you take care of your soul and your heart and beyond? The social and the financials included, because that's how we interact with the world and how kind of influences all the others as well. So if you don't have the best financial health, you may not be able to take care of yourself as best. Because currently right now, a lot of things are expensive, but you can still make do and get a lot of self-care practices going for free and cheap, pretty cheap. But not that you're cheap or anything, or anybody else is cheap, but if that's just how you have to start, and that is perfect. Remember that you are enough, value your freedom, value your time, value how you show up in the world. And then just try to expand on everything self-care. So have fun with this one. Take a moment and really, give yourself props. How do you take care of yourself? How do you want to take care of yourself? Even if you're not doing what you need to at the moment or want to, write down your ideal. Write down the next step. Write down what you actually want. And try to incorporate some new habits, some new rituals, anything that'll help you improve and remind yourself that you actually appreciate yourself in every moment. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow for a new day of gratitude.